So welcome everybody. Why is my face not up? There we go. It is now officially up. Welcome. It is Monday night. Just got to think of the day. Monday night it is indeed. And in the commentary box I have Stephen Koenig with me. Stephen, how are you this evening?
I am absolutely ecstatic. I'm pumped. It is the final race for SARCO for 2020. It is the final race for our Porsche Euro Cup. That has been action from start to finish, and it all comes to a head tonight, right here at SARCO. Oh, I can't imagine any way better to end off a Monday and to end off a fantastic year.
Most definitely, and a big ups to Brandon DeSantos, first dibs of the day. It goes to you. Welcome. Peter Heidemann has also joined us, and a very, very different setup for us this evening, and that's because we do have my arch nemesis in the series, not in his hometown, but sitting right next to me here in the SARCO HQ. So talk about piling the pressure on, having a head-to-head battle with Ashley to my right-hand side. And really looking forward to that. I do believe that the guys are ready to go. Let's see if I could just get the nod there from Ashley. It does look like we're good. Just in terms of the points, massive mix-up in terms of the drivers' points. So that when I looked at them, it was showing that I was 20 points up ahead of Ashley, which should not have been as dramatic as that. So going into the detail, we found that there were some of the formatting that had jumped out, so that was obviously my heart had stopped it just a little bit. Nevertheless, we're still going to give it a go, and on Thursday night when we do the final roundup show, we'll know exactly who is the champion for both the Alpha tier and Bravo tier this evening.
Absolutely, and I've got to say, it's been a trying year, but for sim racing, it has just been exponential. Now seeing that SARCO has grown, the points have been a mix-up. We saw last week, Thursday, the championships hearts just full of joy or broken in Thursday night's race with some of the best racing we've seen all season. And the guys really laid it out on the line. Now getting to our Porsche Euro Cup, where there's prizes on the line from Simstuff Racing. And you can feel down in the pit, everyone is absolutely ecstatic to see what's going on. Also, we've got to remember, these drivers just watched the Kyalami 9-hour last weekend, and they are amped to go and show what they could do in the historic Porsche. So I think it's really cool. And I've got to say, I took a drive to Autowash, and Autowash Fourways Gardens have got quite a setup there. So remember, we still got that. Go and quote SARCO for 15% off all your washes there. So I've got to say, awesome stuff there. But let's get to what we're here for. 100%. The absolute racing.
So let's get rid of our faces up in the commentary box and jump into, as you can see, we are at the track known as Monaco, but here on Patrikios it is called Azure. And that's obviously because they weren't able to get the licenses specifically for this game. All I can say is it is going to be extremely dramatic. This track, in terms of the racing, it is so difficult to overtake. And the walls are everywhere.
Absolutely, and a legendary track. You go and think of Monaco as this track that can make or break your racing. It has made champions. It has made drivers push themselves to the edge every single time, from Formula 1 to GT cars, all racing around. And to this day, go and give it everything they've got. You go and look at the beautiful sights of Monaco, the ocean right there, the rich men and women with their boats, watching the amazing action. And right here at SARCO, we are going to be showing it all off with our South Africa's finest drivers.
So we have a 5-minute qualifying, and just remember the top 6 will be a reverse grid, And I know that is going to play absolute havoc when we go into the second part of the second heat of the race. So it doesn't matter whether you are fast out of the blocks. It is what is going to happen when you go into that second race. Will you be able to climb yourself up? Because the points from first to sixth are vastly different.
Absolutely, and we've got 7 drivers in our Bravo tier that are out there. Unfortunately, some drivers not able to make it. My brother, unfortunately, unable to make it, but is promising to come back next year and show what he can do to get into the Alpha tier. So he's definitely keeping an eye on it. But one person who has been considerably, really consistent and is looking to walk away with the win is Adrian Bond. On our Discord, has been talking a big talk of how he's going to climb up through the ranks. So we're looking forward to seeing what he can do. Don looking to put a bit of pressure on right here at Monaco, and being first out the box and wanting to get the best lap times possible. As we know, it's incredibly hard to work your way around the circuit, and you're going to have to really battle your way around. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nico and Tyler Scott will be able to do. They've versed each other more than once and had some close racing. Let's see how they're going to do on a street circuit that is incredibly unforgiving if you get it wrong.
And that's the thing, is we know that it is only 20 minutes, and you'll see those little coney boards. A lot of the guys have been talking about, oh, that coney board, I hit it too late, and the car generally would be braking not only into the wall, but into pieces as well. So Donovan 148.6, as we see Brandon DeSantos getting that very sideways, getting himself up into turn number 1. And you can see Sarge understeering, and that's because the brakes had locked up, and once those brakes locked up, that car is not going to be stopping, and put it into the wall there into turn 1 himself.
Well, let's take a look. Donovan going and doing a 148.6 on his outlap, really trying to get ahead, where Brandon Santos doing a 149.9. So getting a little bit sideways has cost him a bit there. And you can see just ever so struggling with the car, trying to get it all into check. But Brandon Santos, a lovely name to go and see popping up. And also keeping an eye on the actual stream as well to see what's going up ahead. So a little bit of race planning there. Ryan Sarge just going and pitting. He's currently in second place, 1 minute 50.3 after his little bit of a prang. Nico doing a 1 minute 51.8. Now, we got to talk about these Porsches can get very loose on the rear, and this circuit is all about absolute prim and proper control. What are the drivers are going to have to do to try and keep their cars out of the wall and still maintain incredible pace?
So the funny thing is that as soon as you start pushing too hard, that's when the car starts sliding, the rear starts letting go, the brakes don't work. It's all about being smooth and consistent here. And once you get behind a driver, to overtake is extremely difficult, because we can see both Dane and Adrian not having the opportunity to put up a lap unless they are still out on the circuit. It's going to be tricky for them to work themselves up the order.
Absolutely. It's going to be something interesting to see what they can do, but qualifying is complete, so the guys are going to be starting in those positions. Adrian still trying to push a little bit harder. As you can see, a bit of damage to the nose there, and we were talking about how unforgiving the circuit can be, and right there the battle scars are being shown on the Porsche. But let's see what he can do. Hopefully push himself up a little bit, and just getting practice in. Unfortunately, not able to put up a time. So he's going to fight from the back. Brandon DeSantos clenching first place away from Donovan. And Nico in third place is going to try to push Sarge, Ryan, Adrian Bond, Tyler Scott. They all going to be running their way up to the top. As for the first of the last of the green lights, we're going to see the standing start, the Porsche Euro Cup. Now at Monaco, let's see what they're going to do. I'm excited. And Dylan, come on. You got to be feeling it. The energy coming from all these guys, knowing that this is the end for the championship.
Most definitely. And I can tell you what making me extremely anxious is just knowing that Ashley will have the opportunity just to look to the screen to his left-hand side and have a look-see where I am, what kind of lap times I'm doing, and I just know that it is definitely going to be going down to wire. But we are now officially racing here at Monaco, or we call it Azure, as Brandon goes into turn number 1. He is in first place as they start heading up the hill.
All just keeping a filing train, but you can see Ryan is looking left and right, just trying to see where he can take a drive out. You want to get too sucked into the toe here. You want to try and battle your way around. Adrian Bond looking to try and make an overtake. Unfortunately, wasn't close enough to do so. Couldn't capitalize on it. Tries again. Looks like Ryan battling Donovan out in the front. So Ryan really pushing hard, and that's allowed Nico to get onto the back of him. Nico,
what a move!
Ducks up on the inside and manages just to get past. Ryan dropping back. Adrian now trying to get a little bit closer, but Nico taking a deep breath and nailing it through the hairpin. So definitely hard work going on there. But at the same time, Brandon dos Santos is starting to make a monstrous gap, leaving second, third, fourth, and fifth to Duke right behind him. Nico looking to go hard on the brakes once again. Squares up on the inside. Unfortunately, not close enough to do so, but he does try. Go a little bit late on the brakes, and Ryan immediately tries to capitalize it on it. Well, so Brandon dos Santos now trying to stick it together, and you can see as they turn in, that nose starts to lift just ever so slightly. And now it's about how you're going to go. And it's amazing how close these guys are pushing it to the wall to just gain as much pace out of every single corner.
But yeah, coming into turn number 17, I was just about to say, that looked like Donovan was going a little bit quick. So he locked up the brakes and put that car up onto the wall. There's a little touch in the background there. Who's that? Sarge stuck up on the wall there. So all the drivers needing to go around him.
That's Nico. Nico, who did a massive dive, bit the wall, and now has to try and fight his way back. Oh, and it looks like, is that Donovan that's in the wall there?
Yes, that is definitely Donovan dropping down. So Colin has been able to move himself up again. Yeah, that is Donovan. No, there's Colin down in the back. So lots of action already in this race. And now, ooh, little touch of the wall there for Sarge. So Adrian is going to have a little run on him as they come down into the turn number 5, and now they'll go around the Grand Hotel hairpin, and Brandon spins it around. Too much power on the exit, so he's now released Sarge out in front, and Adrian up into second with Tyler Scott in third position.
Play the trumpets and let the Sarge march as he takes the first place. Adrian has a bit of work, got held up slightly, and now has to try and battle his way back up to the top. Brandon dos Santos not hanging around though, and you can see really pushing hard behind. He wants to make a bit of a... Oh! Ryan going and missing the chicane slightly, bit late on the brakes, so the game is going to notify him, listen mate, over track limits there. He's slowing up just a little bit, and that allows Adrian to get a little bit closer. So Adrian is pushing. He's less than a second behind, but now trying to just utilize every bit of corner speed possible. And take a look, third place, Tyler Scott, who's just absolutely making his way around the course. Tyler has always been one to keep an eye for, a very great opportunist. And needs to keep going. Oh, and it looks like Brandon dos Santos hitting the wall again. I wonder if Brandon is starting to feel the red mist coming down, and it's going and making him forget to brake at certain points as he's pushing. Oh, Scott clipping the wall. A little bit close there, and unfortunately just shaving a little bit of the paint off. So he's not going to be a happy camper and has to get a little bit of speed. Nico still attempting to try and go for a bit of a comeback, but it's going to be a hard one. Brandon is pushing. You can see how wide he's going, how much he's just really turning that car and trying to flick the rear and get it going. I mean, what an upset off the start of the bat from these guys as they really have to keep on pushing themselves. What do you think of this, Dylan? I mean, what a change for the lead.
So I think it's just the nerves. The guys are really pushing extremely hard, just trying to find every little gap. and you can see how close Brandon nearly came to the wall there. But the reality is that Brandon's not out of it just yet. He's only 5 seconds behind Sarge. We know that Brandon was the fastest driver, so he's still possibly able to, as he touches that curb on the brakes. And it looked like Tyler saw him coming, and Tyler banged off the wall, and unfortunately cutting a bit of a curb there. So I'm pretty sure that there might be just a warning for a time penalty.
So the guys are really having to work here, but you can see Brandon really trying to do it. Oh, man, that was solid into the wall. Going and hooking the curb. Unfortunately, the Porsche deciding that it has zero control. It became a passenger, and you can just see Brandon Dos Santos fighting that Porsche as it wants to pull to the left. Adrian Bond now starting to gain onto the back of Ryan, really pushing hard. Now, we got to take hats off to Adrian, as he's been the man on the controller and one to keep an eye out for. Can't wait to see him next season looking to power his way up. So and he's absolutely loving it.
He is tricking you, Stephen, because as of last week, Adrian jumped onto a controller, from the controller onto a wheel. So he has been using the wheel for the last week, and he's saying he is absolutely loving it, and this could possibly be why we are seeing him able to compete so much better up in front here. But now we have a battle between Donovan and there's Dane in the background. So these are the two Team Majestic, well, sorry, apologies, they're not Team Majestic, they are Team Ezekiel drivers together, but they're going to need to be cautious because there's Dane in the background starting to close up on them.
Absolutely, and you can see Donovan getting very close to the walls. He's having to lock up the brakes more and more to try hang it together, but losing a bit of time on Tyler. And so Tyler is really pushing hard now. He knows that he's got to maintain that position. As we jump on board, you can see Tyler really missing the chicane, and that's going to be either a severe penalty or a severe warning. Not going to be a happy camper there. And you can see Donovan really trying to sling it in, but just in this in-car view, you can see how little space there is to move on this on the circuit. Tyler having to go really slow, gives up the position, and Donovan taking the position now, looking to try and power their way through. Tyler, late on the brakes, tried diving up, realized that he's only going one way, and that would be into the door of Donovan. Not going to do that. Locks it up, manages to stop it, but absolutely incredible racing as these guys are just doing everything they can. No penalties is handed out as yet, so only track warnings. Ryan in first place, Adrian Bond in second, Donovan in third, Tyler Scott in fourth. Absolutely brilliant. Dane rounding out in fifth, and he's really trying to go.
Yeah, Brandon down in 6th place and Colin in 7th. There we see Tyler rubbing up against the wall there. And Sarge, it looks like he's starting to open up a little gap over the 2nd place, Adrian Bond. Brandon, that car weaving a left and right. All he's trying to do now is, I think, just bring it home. But to drive a car like that for the next 11 minutes is going to be absolutely painful. Definitely
having to work overtime to try and bring that car home. You can see just wants to go in any direction but straight. But the determination of Brandon at the moment is just to keep going. Sarge really trying to power his way through. Managed to put a gap of 2.1 seconds behind Adrian Bond. And he's just got to keep that constant pace. He's so far slightly quicker than Adrian, but not by much. 150.1, while Adrian's doing a 150.8. So he can't slack off at any point. Otherwise, Adrian's going to really put his nose in there and give Ryan a good run for his money. So definitely the Sarge, Ryan on a warpath here to try and take the checkered flag away from the man in flames, Adrian Bond.
And it looks like now Donovan is starting to open up a gap between himself and the 4th place Tyler. So Donovan now just about 7 seconds or 6 seconds or so is the gap between himself and his teammate. And this is quite a commanding position that I'm sure Donovan will be happy with, even though he was in 2nd place. But after that little spin, I'm pretty sure he'll be happy with the third.
Absolutely. Some hard work having to come from these drivers. They got to work their way around. And I mean, we're talking about how hard the track is, and just chuck in some nerves as well, and it changes the entire ball game of it. And we got to also talk about how much you have to be on the ball around the circuit, because it's literally, there is no reprieve right here. And these guys are still going for 9 minutes and 45 seconds. And the moment you take your eye off the ball, you're going into a wall, losing too much pace, and you're going to run into trouble. Brandon DeSantos deciding to pit the car eventually with all that damage. So he's deciding enough is enough. I can't carry on driving up against the Onco barrier. Rather get it fixed, go out once again, drive around, and then get yourself all sorted out. Absolutely amazing to see this, and amazing to see how the guys are pushing. Oh, a bit of a knock into the wall. So Ryan losing time, cuts the chicane as well. This is exactly what Adrian wants. Adrian now starting to gain a little bit of pace. He sees him going wide, trying to carry the momentum through the corner, so really pushing. Ryan losing time, having to really work, gets close to the wall, nearly touches the wall. So Ryan is now on a charge. And what a thing for Adrian if he manages to get this win for Heat 1 on the last race of the Porsche Euro Cup with a brand new steering. The confidence level going for Heat number 2 is going to be absolutely through the roof. As you can see, absolutely getting close to one another. Adrian trying to keep in the tow, going a little bit wider. As you can see, just trying to get as much momentum as possible through the corners. Ryan trying to drive in the middle of the circuit. Does touch the wall, losing a bit of time once again. Hard on the anchors, locks it up. And you can see Adrian is all over the back of him. Will he be close enough to make a maneuver? Not quite. Lost a bit of drive, but does go hard on the inside. So definitely pushing Ryan to his limit here. And Ryan's going to be watching the rearview mirror. And that can either cause him to have a mistake or push. Adrian looking to go side by side as they blast through the tunnel. Absolutely amazing to see the two Porsches. Ryan having to touch the brakes ever so slightly so he doesn't catch the Onco. Adrian powering his way through and now just getting ahead. But you can be sure that the Sarge is not going to take that lying down, and a retaliation is going to happen.
Most definitely, and Sarge has got that fighting spirit, and I think that now he's got Adrian in front, he can start seeing where Adrian was gaining up on him and start using that against him. As they exit out of turn number 16, this is turn number 17, where we saw Adrian go very wide into this corner, and Sarge follows him and now realizes that's possibly the best way to go. But as that rear just steps out on Sarge, he loses just that little bit of traction as they head towards the start-finish line. Start, finish line.
Have you been visiting the tops a little bit there?
I haven't. I just want to check in quickly what's happening in terms of the comments are coming through. We see JohannVdV shouting, "Go Adrian!" Louis Lutz, he is in. He's saying, "Good evening all. Good luck to everyone." Daniel War Machine Morales, he's saying, "Good evening." So he's joined us as well. One of the comments that he made was, turning is the name of the game, but on soap on this track, it's going to be insane. That actually almost rhymed there. Well done there, Daniel. Peter's looking for a sponsor for a new headset. He's saying his one has gone into a coma. That's pretty sad. Brandon, I suppose that was when he was in the pits. He's saying Sarge is doing well. And then we have JohannVdV thanking Daniel War Machine Morales for his unfailing support. Respect, brother. Tonight is going to be one to remember. Most definitely.
And also some comments coming from Carl Pietza. He's sending me messages with the absolute excitement of the racing that's going on here. He's on edge watching it as well. So glad to see that happening. You can see how hard they're having to push one another to get going. And now Adrian Bond opening up a bit of a gap and getting a little bit of breathing room over Sarge. So that's going to give him just a little bit of time to take a breath in, but not enough to exhale at this point, because Ryan is absolutely trying. You can see the battle battle scars on that Martini Porsche of Ryan as he makes his way through. Jumping back to Tyler Scott, who is also a man on the mission at this point, looking to try and make his way through. He's chasing after Don. He's 6 seconds behind, but right behind him, though, 2 seconds, is a man that was on a absolute charge, and that is Nico. Nico out of nowhere, losing major time, looking to fight back. Battle worn on the Porsche there, but is really going to push it right until the end for this heat number 1 of the Porsche Euro Cup. Proudly sponsored by Autowash, Fourways Gardens, and Simstuff Racing right here at SARCO. Make sure, if you guys are watching on Facebook, like our page, put some comments down. We love to see your comments. Oh, very close from Ryan.
On the wall there. But it's just, you can see how slowly you're actually going through that corner, and that is just before they go into the tunnel. That is turn number 8. Portier, I don't have the French accent, my wife would be really good at that, as they now go into the chicane, the Nouvelle chicane. That is turns 10 and 11, and it can definitely catch drivers out. Then into turn number 12 they go, and again it's just a touch of the brakes, gear down, let the nose dip, and then they go through the pool section, and big slide there for Ryan, and that's bounced him up on the wall. So I think that is his charge on the back of Adrian Bond, done and dusted. You can start seeing some of those war scars are now on the front, that front bonnet. If your engine isn't under, is it still called the bonnet, or is that the boot now?
I would say the most PC we can say is the front. Okay. That's the most PC we could say, because at the moment I think the Germans were very confused in trying to say that's the bonnets, considering the engines in the rear. But absolutely amazing to see these cars pushing it. Adrian Bond is going to have a massive smile on his face at the moment. He's kept it clean. Let's see if he can keep it for the remaining 2 minutes and 46 seconds. But take a look, Nico and Tyler, they are reliving the PTSD days of the early championship. And you can see Tyler locking up the brakes. This is what we've seen all season. And ladies and gentlemen, they are back to go at it once again. Nico versus Scott. Who is going to get it right here at SARCO for the Bravo tier?
Oh, Colin looking for a gap there, but Tyler was just a little bit slow on the exit there. And it looked like Colin just gave him a little nudge. Don't try and squeeze in there, Colin. So was that an out-braking maneuver there by Tyler, or was that a little bump by Colin? I'm sure that we'll know after this when we get into the comments. What's going on here? My brain is absolutely frying. I think I'm starting to feel the pressure for our race coming up. But I thought that Ryan would be running away. Adrian would be running away from Ryan, unless Adrian made a mistake. But now, within a second, we are now going to have one last lap as Adrian scrapes up the inside wall on the main start-finish straight. 0.6 of a second is that gap. This is the last lap of this first heat here for the Bravo tier. So guys, if you have just tuned in, just let us know what you think about this amazing racing action. We will be going straight into the second round of the racing, and then later on, starting just after 9 o'clock or so, is that we'll have the 2 heats of the Alpha tier, and a championship will be decided.
And you can see right here, Adrian Bond feeling the pressure. Ryan is just on point right now. He is chomping at the bit. Ryan has tasted the cherry, the beautiful cake of first place here at Monaco, and he wants it back. He doesn't want Adrian to do it. Not many corners left. Adrian pushing as hard as he can, really just opening the throttle up. So is Ryan. Despite the damage on that Porsche, he is going to give it everything till the end. Hard on the brakes. Adrian just managing to eke it in nicely. Ryan going a little bit over the curb, but holding it together. He is still under a second behind. It is just turning into a major race right now. This is turning into one race to remember. Ryan in the toe. Will he be able to make it? It's getting close towards the end. It's going to require a very brave move, if I can put it. He tries to go on the inside, unfortunately unable to do so. Adrian going defensive. Ryan loses time. He's trying to get back into the toe, pull himself along, but unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, Ryan unable to get it. First place looks like it goes to Adrian Bond. Ryan in second. Donovan in third place. Going to be a happy camper about that. And he makes his way through. Nico, unfortunately, falling way behind in that battle. And as Nico has to deal with the likes of Tyler Scott further behind him. So Donovan managing to just come across the line for heat number 1. And absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it looks like Tyler's definitely having a little battle there. You can see 2 minutes 5 seconds front end damage on that bumper there for Colin. I'm sure that he's happy that this heat is over with him in 4th place, and in shot is Tyler Scott. He'll cross the line in 5th place. Dane will be in 6th, but now we need to remember, that bonnet is gone. And so is his boots, and that rear bumper is just about falling off.
That is the ultimate form of load weight shedding, right there. That is lightening the car to the full extent. That the only way next is the doors and fenders are coming off.
100%. So what will happen is that means that Dane will essentially be starting out in front, with Tyler in 2nd, Colin in 3rd, Donovan 4th, Ryan in 5th, and then Adrian, he'll need to start off in 6th place, with unfortunately Brandon DeSantos down in 7th place. He will start where he finished, but that is definitely going to bring a whole new dynamic to the race.
And I know Kyle's in the chat. Kyle, what did you think of the races going around Monaco, and how close was that finish?
Okay, guys, did you make notes of your positions?
It seems like he doesn't want to talk to me.
I put it up in Discord, Ashley.
Okay, cool.
So, unfortunately, Carl just choosing to ignore me at this point. But, it is all on the line, Dylan. This is it. Heat number 2, the final heat of the Bravo tier for 2020. Right now here at SARCO, the butterflies must be going. Who do you think is going to get this?
Yes, you really are putting me on the spot here, because we know Donovan had the pace. We did see Colin have the pace as well. And with Colin starting from 3rd place, I'm pretty sure that he might be able to get himself ahead. But it all depends on whether Dane decides to play that protective game. If he does, and he's going to have a whole list of drivers behind him waiting to get ahead.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be quite entertaining as we head into the final race. But you can be sure Brandon Santos is going to try and pull a rabbit out of the hat. He started in first. He had extreme pace. Starting at the back now, lots of work. But if he can get the jump on the start, he can make it very difficult for the other drivers, as we saw until he got too much on the power. And as we keep saying, no traction control, no ABS. So if you got a lead foot, be prepared for the Porsche to show you exactly where to put that lead foot.
Most definitely. So we can see that countdown has already started. So the guys up and running already as we go into the second heat here for the... you could just hear Ashley talking in the background. And we're officially 2 minutes ahead of schedule. So as chaotic as things were, 2 minutes ahead of schedule is probably the best we've actually had for our Monday Night League. So thank you to Ashley. Even though it's more chaotic getting things ready, they definitely do run a lot easier.
He makes it easy but hard at the same time. It's like a date. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it starts off hard and it gets easy over time. And there's someone's imagination going
wild.
A
family show, but soft over time. Time of your sex tape.
I was talking about a pleasant night that sometimes when you go and buy food. What are you thinking there, Dylan?
I'm not going to repeat what I'm thinking because our chat on the live stream will go absolutely ballistic.
Chasing Beavers?
That's a team name, so yes, nothing to be afraid of there.
No, but that team name really showed that they aren't scared of Mamba Fever, as they went and showed earlier in last week. But we're going with our rolling start, switching our positions now to get themselves going. This is going to be interesting, and one of the few times that we've seen absolutely guys do everything they can. And Monaco, very tight circuit, that turn one, we talk about turn one being deadly. Monaco's turn one is not deadly. It's genocide at the best of times.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So I just wanted to say thank you, Brandon Hills, for checking in at 3 minutes past 8. He will be racing in the Bravo Alpha tier a little bit later on, but talk about calling it very, very late there, Brandon, but really happy that you will be joining us this evening.
He's being fashionably late.
Yo,
it's all about arriving in style. Whether you're still trying to tie your shoes and put your belt back on, different story. He's fashionably late. But we're getting into this Monaco right here. Final time. I mean, I'm chuffed to see this. A little bit of a tear in the eye, knowing that this is coming to the end of the Bravo tier for 2020. And it's all on the line. And on Thursday, we will find out who won the championships. Oh, and Nico.
Oh, my goodness.
So I think the train just stopped, and that has given a slight advantage to the guys up front. But I've got to say, Noddy Badge Award on Thursday is going to happen. We've got to have a Noddy Badge Award. And that Noddy Badge Award, I will even organize it, and we are going to send it through to the one, the only spinner, Colin Nico.
I can't believe that he actually binned it. So I wasn't really watching the screen there. Actually, was he tagged on the back, or did he literally just brake and then it slapped on him? Ashley? Did he just lose it, or was he tagged? Oh my goodness.
So Noddy Badge Awards goes to Nico, that's for sure. That's my vote for the Noddy Badge. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're getting ready for the green final time right here at Monaco for our Bravo tier of SARCO Porsche Euro Cup, and it is on immediately. Tyler Scott on the charge. Dane having to go very defensive. Nico, a little bit red in the face, is busy trying to get all the blood in his face back down to his shoes and get back on the charge.
So Colin, looked like you wanted to have a little sneak up on the inside, going through turn number 3. Big accident there, and that's Tyler here. It looked like he's out of the race. Colin lost the rear, and that is a huge traffic jam there. They're going to just need to let... oh, shame. Ooh, naughty Tyler, but that was kind of expected, considering he was facing the wrong way around. But we now have Colin out in front, Donovan in second place, Dane in third. That puts Sarge, he started in the 7th place. I'm not sure why he was so far behind there. I wonder if whether he also had a little bit of a mistake there and that dropped him down. But now we've got Adrian down in 6th place, so he has a almighty battle to try and get himself back up the order.
Well, we can officially say that Monaco can have 4 cars side by side, or one Porsche turned horizontal and 2 Porsches squashed next to each other to get round. So thanks guys, scientific experiment done and dusted from our Bravo tier. Naughty badge still goes to Nico for binning it on the formation lap. that's for sure on there. But as the guys are trying to power their way through, Nico managing to get first place away from Don, and now is trying to keep Dane in third place as well. Ryan is on the charge. Ryan sneaking up the inside. So Ryan sneaks up the inside, clips the barrier ever so slightly, just gives it a slight little kiss, and is now marching his way up. You can see the battle scar on Dane's car at the moment. So Dane not having too much of a fun time, and that bumper just a tad loose on him at the moment. But looking at all this action, I'm sure your nerves are starting to kick in, knowing that the Alpha tier are going to have to go around this exact same circuit in the exact same cars, and you watching the Bravo tier really giving it everything they are. And I've got to say, Bravo tier has set the bar for Alpha tier to try and beat it with some of the best racing we're going to see tonight.
Brandon bouncing up against the wall, trying to make a move around Tyler, and all that did was just slow him down. I was just having a look at some at the entries for this evening. So we have, it looks like 10 drivers will be racing this evening. So we're going to have 3 more drivers than the Bravo tier on the track. So it's going to get a little congested in the beginning, and that makes me very nervous.
It's going to be incredibly interesting to see how it all turns out. But you can see Donovan really pushing that Porsche, nudges the wall ever so slightly, and he's just battling a little bit. I wonder if his internet is starting to feel it, because he is skating around the track.
Well, I was going to say that it does look like it's a bit of an internet issue there, because there's no ways he can be doing that. As Sarge just about spins a 360 donut coming out of the turn number 17. That's going to allow Dane to see that opportunity and hopefully start closing that up. But I think after the first race, the guys are still trying to recover and get additional points to close off this championship. And now this is where the mistakes are starting to creep in.
I think they're also feeling a bit knackered, because around this circuit of racing, your arms are going to be absolutely finished, because it's constantly left, right, and the mental concentration to get those corners perfect every single time.
So we're just going
to jump
to our second place in shot, Colin and Donovan on board, and this will give you a great sense of just how tricky this track is. You can see how Donovan just manages to keep it off the wall. They're coming out of turn number 8 now through turn number 9 through the tunnel. They're going to head down into the Noval chicane, and that is turns 10 and 11. And you can just see the wheel work that Donovan will be doing here, just to make sure that that car is braking straight. He'll now exit out of 11, and this is where he'll now have to just touch the brakes, gear down for turn number 12. Make sure that that nose is down to get the grip in the front before you turn, and then accelerate and slide it through. Big flick of the rear through turn 13 and 14, and then on the brakes into 15, and you want to have a nice straight exit out of 16. Then through Laracas, long entry there. You can see Donovan using that rear to rotate as he comes through that very tricky 18 and 19, and now across the start-finish line once again.
Definitely some hard work to try and keep it in check. But we've seen that you can use the back to rotate, but at the same time, it can bite you even harder. So it's going to be rather tricky to keep it going, especially for the next 11 minutes. Brandon the Santos getting sideways, nearly loses it, manages to catch it, but I'm sure that it was a Code Brown moment at that point, trying to get past Tyler Scott. So really having to get in that toe, tries to eye out on the inside, side by side, going into turn 1, decides rather not as he would be completely on the wrong path and having to fall back in line. But he is hunting right behind Tyler Scott. So Brandon Santos is not hanging around here. He wants to start climbing up. He does not want to finish in 7th place, as he's had a little bit of a worse result of his season right here tonight. Definitely the circuit not playing into his favor. Adrian Bond going after Ryan as hard as he can. So great to see Adrian Bond pushing as hard as he can. Donovan giving everything he's got to going after Nico. So great to see the dice all over, but Adrian Bond starting to gain a little bit. Only 0.6 of a second, looks to try on the inside, but not close enough to do so, and we'll have to just deal it. Nico holding back Donovan as hard as he can, but you can see Don trying to look left and right, trying to find that kink in the armor, pressuring Colin as much as possible. Colin just trying to keep it clean and keep it smooth. It's going to be a little bit hard to do so. And as we go back, Ryan having to really climb on the anchors as he's rotating that rear, trying to make the Porsche as wide as possible to hold back Adrian Bond, who's absolutely loving it right now with the new steering, as he's got a little bit more control of the car, as we've seen all season. And at the same time, he's really upped his pace. Brandon Dos Santos, still a hard push after Tyler Scott. Under a second, has to go very, very late on the brakes. It makes me wonder how much damage has he got to the suspension of that car. Oh, Tyler going into the wall. That allows Brandon Dos Santos to go side by side. So now it is side-by-side action with the two. Is it going to be Tyler? Is it going to be Brandon? As they're heading into turn 1, you can see Tyler pushing as hard as he can. Brandon just nudging the wall. Oh, absolutely incredible, but definitely shaving the wall there, becoming one with the Onco, and that bonnet is sticking up. That suspension is not a happy camper there. As you can see, Adrian Bond still pushing hard, going on to the back of Ryan. So Ryan now having to try and keep it all together. He's got a bit of damage. So remember, he's feeling a lot more suspension damage. That allows Adrian Bond to get very, very close of him in and out of corners. Adrian is in the toe. He's going to get pulled along. He tries to look to the inside. And now going late on the brakes. Will he be able to do it? Decides that he's going to second guesses it.
He just allows Ryan to go through. I thought he might have had a look, but what he's done is he's actually taken a much tighter line, and that's allowed him to get a much quicker exit. But it does look like Sarge's car is properly damaged, because that thing is crab walking, going left and right.
Ryan having to really keep that car under check, and it's not helping him. Donovan still going after Nico, and you can see how hard he's pushing. So these two are still trying to go after one another. This is a battle for first place, and they are trying everything they can right up until the line. Then we got Tyler Scott and Brandon Dos Santos. Tyler still keeping Brandon at bay, goes late on the brakes, trying to... This is the nursing wounded cars. Tyler puts it into the wall. As he said, locking up the brakes can be a pain in the backside. Brandon Dos Santos comes to a halt though and gets going. So I wonder if Brandon Dos Santos and them did not net code, or they're deciding to just have a little bit of fun with one another. So great to see the guys having to push there. I'm not sure how it's going. Oh, Donovan into the wall very, very hard. And now that allows Nico to start pulling a massive gap. But how much damage is done to Donovan's car on the left-hand side? He has got a slight droop. And that tells me that that steering is pointing a little bit in the wrong direction, but not as bad as Sarge is dealing with at the moment. But it's going to be hard work to get past Nico. Nico, after going and losing it on the start, well, on the formation lap, and now up into first place, and is on a bit of a charge to pull away from this man right here. Who once again...
So that's just touching the brakes. The rear rotated way too much. And as those brakes lock up, there's no traction whatsoever. And Donovan was unfortunately just a passenger there. But now with that damage and 6 minutes left, there is a possibility that Adrian could possibly close him down and get himself on the second place of the podium.
It's going to be a bit of hard work to do so. And the guys are really going to have to keep it all in check for the remainder of this race. Adrian Bond really pushing as hard as he can and trying to just keep that car all together. Goes a little bit over the curb, nearly nails it into the wall, but able to just rotate the car. Nico keeping it clean. He's got the white Porsche, so you would see any marks on that car almost immediately. But Nico keeping a clean race and is now trying to just keep it all the way till the end. 5 minutes and 22 seconds left of our final race of the Bravo tier, the Porsche Euro Cup, proudly sponsored by Autowash and Simstuff Racing and brought to you by SARCO for 2020. Oh man, just saying that actually just brings a bit of heartache. I mean, Dylan, let's be honest here. Hearing that this is the end of Bravo tier for 2020 of our Porsche Euro Cup, man, you must feeling a little bit in the heart there as you put it all together along with Ash, who's staring you down from the second cockpit in SARCO HQ.
So look, there definitely is that feeling when you finish a series and then you realize, oh, that's the last one and that's the end of that series. And you kind of get that nostalgic feeling like you wish it would be back. But then we always realize that we go on to the next one. And I must say, I really have enjoyed this championship. It has been an absolute cracker. We've had various winners. We've had mixed results. The championship has been really, really close. And as much as I'd like to have it not end, I think it's time that we conclude it. We can take 2020. We'll take it off as experience and just look to the new year and just go from good to better.
Absolutely. And every single one of these drivers are looking to end it off in the best way possible. The Bravo tier, the tier that is not as fast as our main tier, the Alphas, but has definitely put on a show and shown so much emotion, so much positivity, joking, and really, cheering on the guys. Bravo tier has been one to keep an eye out for, and a little bit nostalgia getting to chat to these guys has really put it to a great thing. And Nico looking to just finish up with the checkered flag for heat number 2. And I'm sure as he's going around the circuit right here at Monaco, one of the most difficult circuits that we've been on, and immediately puts it into the wall. Commentator's curse coming into play.
Yes, 3 minutes. Sure, 2 more laps, Colin. 2 more laps.
I'm sure he's thinking in the back of his head of, this is it. This is the final time the Bravo tier are going to be going around right here for 2020. And all the thoughts going and happening in his head of what's going to be next. Because we haven't announced what the championships are. They're going to have to keep an eye out on it. Much like you guys at home, you're going to go take a look on our Facebook page and our YouTube page to find out what is next for next year.
But guys, please, all I can say is just give us 2 or 3 weeks. We just want to be able to shut down. So we won't be updating it straight away. We still need to have a chat to our drivers. But definitely in the new year, we will know exactly what we're going to be racing, when we were going to be racing, and we'll get everybody involved then.
Absolutely. But make sure you like our Facebook page, because it's the only way you're going to know. Knowing through our Facebook page and our YouTube page. So like our Facebook page, hit subscribe and that bell notification icon on our SARCO YouTube page so you can keep up to date with all the information going forward. And I promise you, it's something you don't want to miss. Donovan getting into the wall. Adrian Bond collecting him. This is a turn of events. Adrian Bond and Donovan touching. But will Adrian Bond be able to get going in time? No, loses out time. So Donovan still managing to hold it. But oh my heavens, what damage is done to those cars heading into the final lap of the race. Is it going to be okay? Will Adrian Bond be able to get by? He is pushing as hard as he can. He got that hard knock, but nothing he could do. Locked up the brakes, and unfortunately a whole lot of Porsche in the way. and now has to try and fight his way through. Donovan just over-rotated that rear and is definitely feeling it right now. And this is what it is, ladies and gentlemen, coming up. Literally, they might just have one more lap by the end of this, and that means Donovan has really just got to keep it together. Adrian loses the sideways, touches the curb, doesn't lose as much time, but man, losing out just that little bit of momentum might cost him. Nico pushing as hard as he can, knowing that this is the last lap for him as he goes around Monaco for the final time. Adrian Bond and Donovan still going at it. Adrian Bond wants to finish this and get right up there. It will be big smiles if he can. The 108 Porsche really trying to put the pressure on Donovan, who is a veteran at this point. And you can see Donovan going very defensive, just doing everything he can to cut his nose.
I don't know how he managed to get that car to stop, because that entry that he got looked like it was extremely aggressive.
No, this is turning into one heck of a race down to the wire between these two. This is a race for second place, ladies and gentlemen. And Adrian Bond and Donovan know what's on the line. It is points that can make or break their championship that they will find out as soon as we get to Thursday. But you can see Adrian putting the pressure on. Donovan trying to slow him up. So Donovan going a little bit early on the brakes, trying to slow Adrian up as much as possible. Adrian not falling for that. Gets into the toe. You can see Donovan left and right trying to break that toe. Adrian Bond trying to get a little bit going. Donovan goes over the curb though. Losing a bit of time.
So will Adrian be able to get the run on him, or will Donovan decide to rather just take that penalty? He's a little bit slower as they run towards the pool chicane. Little flick of the rear there for Donovan, and I thought that would be flicking him off. So a little shortcut there for Donovan as Adrian now tries to sneak up on the inside into turn 17. Adrian goes very wide. Donovan is a little bit slower. Will Adrian try and sneak around the outside? A little touch from the two. This is going to be an almighty humdinger towards the line. They are side by side. I don't know who it's going to be. It looks like it is Adrian, but now this turns to the right hand side and Adrian just gets it. It looked like 0.003 of a second when they crossed that line. Absolutely incredible.
And ladies and gentlemen, you can just see in the background of Nico, the two driving together as they knew it was all on the line. Sarge making his way through it. Dane powering his way around. Dane did an incredible job, but unfortunately 5th place is where he's going to end right here. And the beautiful circuit right here on Project Cars 2. Absolutely amazing. And that side-by-side race between Don and Adrian literally finished with nothing to go. Brandon DeSantos going to be coming across the line with extreme weight loss on the Porsche. And he rounds out 7th place. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is it for our Bravo tier right here of the Porsche Euro Cup. Proudly brought to you by Autowash, Fourways Gardens, Simstuff Racing, and SARCO.
So, Stephen, we just, because these guys were so close in terms of the points, we're just doing a quick adding up to see who needs to be there. And then at least you know exactly who you will be interviewing for the last race now.
But they'll only know the championship on Thursday. So make sure you guys keep an ear out for it. Come and join us on YouTube and on Facebook to hear who won the championship for the Bravo tier.
So the top 3 are Adrian, Colin, and Ryan. Followed by only 1 point.
Adrian, Colin, and Ryan. Please come to the Discord lobby.
I think I've been a little bit as well.
My heavens. My absolute heavens. And I know one person who's going to be bouncing up and down. He's been on a controller. He has been fighting the championship from a controller, jumps onto a steering wheel, hasn't had as much practice as everyone else, and managing to get right up there. That's Adrian Bond. I'm looking forward to having a chat with him and getting a bit of insights into it. But that is the way to end off the Bravo tier. In the commentary box, joining us, the one, the only, everyone stand and salute. It's the Sarge. Ryan, how are you feeling, buddy, with that race?
How's it, guys? It was quite a tough one, to say the least.
Now, absolutely incredible work, and you really had to push your limits there to try and keep going, and you had some close action. Glad to see it there. And how did you find the race? Was it a bit challenging for you?
It was challenging indeed, especially with this course being so tight and that. One little mistake can ruin the entire race.
Absolutely, but the season is over, and I mean, absolutely amazing. What's the thoughts racing through your head as this is end for the Bravo tier for 2020?
Yeah, it's been a great season, without doubt. It's really been great racing with a good group of guys.
No, absolutely. And also joining in the box here, we have got Donovan with the amazing beard. I've got to say, it looks amazing. Forget about Movember. This man is the Viking. Donovan, how are you feeling? It was side-by-side action for majority of your racing. How was it there, buddy? I'm sure you've left marks on your steering by now.
Yeah, there's like rubber off my steering wheel coming off my hands. Yeah, it was really tight. No, it was a good race. Apart from the fact that I wrecked the car twice in both races, I had to like limp it home. That's what made it so difficult. But no, it was a good race. It was very challenging. Yeah.
And if you have to think about the closing thoughts of the season, what comes through to your mind, knowing that it's now done?
Well, it's a pity that it's over. Looking forward to the next season.
Absolutely.
So
Fantastic.
Donovan, I just wanted to just comment on that effort there. The fact that you only finished 1 point just for the evening behind Ryan. Consistency for yourself up in the mid-pack there. Which obviously the 2 third places gives you the 43 points, but a great freaking effort, and cool. Really looking forward to seeing you coming and challenging us in the Alpha tier.
Well done, guys. Thanks.
And now
we do need to just ask you something very, very important. Going down the hill on your outlap, was that why you had to take the shirt off?
I think Colin quite
frozen.
Me?
Yeah. So that you had to take your shirt off after your little spin on the outlap.
Dude, I took my shirt off about 3 weeks ago. What patient for this last race.
All right. So Colin, we talked about the amazing racing. You had a good run in your race, but Bud, the Noddy badge does go to you for spinning it on the formation lap. What happened?
I look at Dylan's stock on his face. Besides that, then I was anticipating when I get a kiss from the prince. Just lack of concentration. Just one of those things.
Colin, how are you feeling? You've had a great run all season, and now that 2020 is over, and you're going to find out about where the points are on Thursday. What's the thoughts racing through your head right now?
I think we've a great bunch of guys racing with us. Really appreciate it. To SARCO, all the membership and whatever, you guys do a splendid job. Obviously, we have to thank you all. And to my fellow racers, it's tough out there, but we all give each other a good go.
Well done, everyone.
I think it's all fair racing, and I think it's brilliant.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin.
All right. And now for the final person I want to talk about, because I was complimenting for use of a controller.
Yes.
And out of nowhere, I get told that last week you went and changed to a wheel. Adrian Bond, Mr. Bond, shaken but not stirred. Tell us about your race.
That was hectic. That was a rough race. Those corners, there's so much concentration, and yeah, you got to pray that people make mistakes. And it's so difficult to get past anybody. Jeez, it's tough, especially catching all the races. All the guys are very, very difficult and fast, and I'm enjoying it. Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you,
pleasure, Adrian. But now we get to see you in Alpha Tier now.
Yeah, I'm gonna die.
Ladies and gentlemen,
cheers.
boys and girls,
Cheers, thanks, guys.
this is your winners of the Bravo tier for the final round of the Porsche Euro Cup right here at SARCO. Give them a round of applause.
Well done, guys. Well done. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Stephen.
Yeah,
I'm
well
going
done,
to jump out of here so I can get ready for my race. Donovan, Colin, thank you so much for the amazing entertainment. We really enjoyed that, and we hope to see you on the stream. Cheers, guys.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.
What guys? Cheers.
Absolutely blown away, and talking to the guys, and you can almost feel the mix of emotions coming from the guys with everything. And now it is time for our Alpha tier to take the circuit for the final time, ladies and gentlemen. This year, final time. And we have a race for the championship lying on the line between Dylan and Ash. These two have been duking it out on Thursdays and Mondays to go at each other. Now they are at SARCO head office to prove who is the best. Right here, final time. I'm blown away. I'm excited. I'm amped. And I know someone that's in the commentary box also here. Let's see if he'll maybe have a chat to us and give his feeling. Coming late into the console side, Kyle, what do you think is going to happen?
I think it's gonna be one heck of a showdown, Steve. I mean, after what Barbara here just did, I mean, with this track, I think these guys are really gonna push themselves harder than ever. So it's gonna be very interesting.
It's a tight course. It is a bunch of drivers that are not going to give an inch. And Dylan, I know you can hear us there, but any last words from you and Ash to the stream before you guys jump in for your final time right here at SARCO for the Porsche Euro Cup on our Mondays? What's going through your guys' head right there at SARCO HQ?
Well, I'm just about losing my freaking mind here because now things are now getting real. Actually just making the final changes. And I'm actually feeling a little bit nervous, but I'll tell you what's going to get me through. I've just seen a message coming up, and guys, Marius Bortma has joined us saying, good luck Alpha Tier, enjoy your last race. Well done, Colin. Marius, it's absolutely fantastic to see you again. I'm definitely going to give you a call in the morning just to see how you're doing. Really awesome. Thanks for tuning in. But now it's time to go racing, and I'm losing my coconuts.
This is it. I mean, the build-up, the excitement, the whole year of trying to race, and it's coming right down to this. We're going to see the final time. And if I can ask, will we be able to get someone to show us on the Discord so we get a live feed of the action?
And if you have time, actually also in for $5.
Alright, as Dylan is going to be jumping out, and we're going to be getting ready to go. So I'm going to try and keep up to date with all the action going in, and hopefully we're going to get a screen put on for Carl and myself that we'll be able to see what's going on. But Carl, give me your thoughts here, bud.
Well, I mean, I didn't race in the Porsche Euro Cup, but I mean, I've seen what this track is capable of. I mean, if you mess up, on a corner, you definitely in the wall, and you put in the guys behind you with you as well. So there's not much gap with this track unless you're in the tunnel. But I mean, with these guys, anything is possible, eh?
That's going to be a very, very close, and you can bet that all these drivers are going to be able to push it right up to the top. I think it's going to be an interesting one right until the end, as there is a lot on the line for every single one of these drivers. So this is going to be something to watch out for, Carl. I'm super amped to see what's going to happen, how it's all going to go. I know you were going to race tonight, but you went and decided that you're going to see the final round of the SARCO. We're glad to have you. Seeing everyone in the chat as well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a big part of the support. We love to see all the love coming through. Our drivers appreciate it. They literally watch this entire stream after they race, and we're looking forward to seeing it. So, Carl, I am going to send you the YouTube, so I want you to keep an eye out on the comments coming from YouTube, from SARCO, from all our fans, and they're going to be showing lots and lots of love. I'm going to keep an eye on Facebook so we can see all the love there. Final time, ladies and gentlemen, right here at SARCO. Oh, I mean, the build-up, the excitement, this is going to be incredible.
I mean, also with me popping in after racing, was after the race, I mean, I got within 5 minutes of racing, and I got caught up in an accident that happened on lap 1, so I got caught up in that, and then that put me into the wall, so I had to go back to the pits, and I had 10 minutes of repair, 8 minutes of repair time, so I wasn't gonna sit there for 8 minutes, so I gave up.
Well,
I mean, I know losers give up, but in that aspect, I couldn't handle it, because also this heat is also unbearable at this point in time.
Well, we got the SARCO guys going to be going out for it, and they are not going to be giving up right until the last. So I just need to get hold of the guys to open up for us and give us a little bit of a inside view. And just give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves into the live stream. I see a lot of love coming from everyone for this race, and the excitement is building up. Sly Pete so far first out. We're taking a look at JohannVdV, who's really pushing to try and make up a bit of ground here. He's looking to try and make a good move. He is the sole owner of Simstuff Racing and has sponsored our prizes. We've also got Gav. Gavin's been doing incredibly well throughout the season and is looking to make an impact right here tonight. Right as all the guys are looking to just make that one step further. I'm excited for this. This is going to be absolutely incredible racing from the guys right up until the end. So, if I don't know who to say who's going to get this. I mean, this is going to be so close.
Oh, Steve, it's going to be very close. I mean, these guys They've put hours and hours and waited. They've done a number of laps on different tracks, all leading up to this track right here. And as I can see with the YouTube chat, yes, Brandon, this track is nuts. I mean, it's actually, you drive it in a car in cockpit view. You really gotta have those coconuts to be able to drive on this track. And
Absolutely.
with these other tier drivers, they really have that. So my hat's off to them.
Now the guys are going to have to push their way right to the top, and it's not going to be an easy run. No one's going to be making it easy. War Machine going and saying, Brandon, and wow, absolutely wow. This is going to be a very, very interesting race going on, and this is going to be mad. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen.
I mean, I think at this rate, it's anyone's ball game, especially on this type of track. I mean, I won't be able to pick a winner at this point.
No, everyone's really fighting. So we keep an eye on Gav at the moment. He's looking to try and put a very, very impressive time as he tries to power his way through. And then we got Skoltz, who's also trying to put a bit of pressure on, fighting his way around the circuit. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how the guy is going to deal with it. So far, Hill's putting a 155.6, joining in right at the last minute. So, talk about fashionably late. That goes to Hill. Sly Pete also trying to put a bit of pressure on. But you could see Skoltz keeping in the tow and trying to get himself pulled along by Sly Pete. So, it might be beneficial between these two if they could just keep it together and use the toe of one another to put in that absolute banker of a lap. Sly Pete does open up after losing the tail end of it, so Skolt's looking to power up ahead. Jake's taking 144.7 for the Green Mumbas. Gav doing a 146.5, so 1.7 seconds faster. Then we've got Dylan in third place. Skolt's taking fourth. And it's close. This is going to be very, very interesting. But Jake's here, part of the Green Mumbas, looking to give some Mamba fever tonight as he tries to make his way around this beautiful circuit and put in absolutely banker laps right here for the Porsche Euro Cup. Proudly sponsored by Autowash, Fourways Garden Shopping Centre and Simstuff Racing. By the way, Kyle, I don't know if you've heard, but if you go to Autowash Fourways Garden Shopping Centre and quote SARCO, you get 15% discount on all your washes right there and then. I mean,
that's a very big bargain. I mean,
that is a great bargain, and they jumped on to having a bit of fun. And also another thing, what's on the line is Simstuff Racing has sponsored a G29 magnetic shifter. I mean, that is amazing.
Ooh.
Plus, they do button boxes as well. So, Simstuff Racing, that is JohannVdV. In the comments, click on them and go and join up. Jake's pulling out and deciding that his qualifying is done and dusted. Dylan's still trying to make his way around. You could see in the Green Mamba Porsche, he's looking to try and take a bite out of the time. But Gav is looking to keep the pressure on. Dylan gets close to the wall, though. Lost out a little bit of time, and now pushing his way right across the line. So, very, very close. Gav taking second place. Dylan in third. Skoltz taking that third place away from Dylan. So, Dylan down into fourth place. Brandon in fifth. Oh, man, this is going to be a heck of a race for our Alpha tier.
Well, I have very bad news, Steve.
And that is?
Well, you know, we live in a where we have to fight daily with the ESCOM, and apparently from a Facebook post I saw, with the grid I'm on, we're having load shedding in 15 minutes.
Alright, well, if it's the case, Carl, it's been fantastic having you. Thank you very much for joining us, and we're looking forward to seeing you come back next season and joining us here in the SARCO commentary box.
Well, there, definitely. Thank you for having me, and good luck. And yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Now we're all lined up on the grid, waiting to get up and going for the final time, ladies and gentlemen, right here for SARCO Alpha Tier. Lights on. We're waiting for it all to be released. Revving up. Lights off and away they go. Skolt's doing everything he can. Jake's getting a fantastic jump off the line. Gav trying to go and maintain his position. Dylan hunting his way behind. Dylan gets close, losing out yet another position. So Dylan falling down the grid and now having to really push. Jake's under pressure though. Gav putting the pressure on the back of him. And Skolt's in third place is doing everything he can. Brandon right behind him though, and is not going and giving up just as yet. Gav really trying to keep it in and keep going. Skolt's under a huge amount of pressure right now. Side by side action. Oh, Skolt's into the wall. Skolt's is into the wall. Brandon managing to get by. Oh, massive chaos behind. Everyone trying to pull themselves right, but not what they wanted. Gav and Jake's managing to get by. Gav managing to get a better drive out of the green number. So did Dylan also get a good drive. Brandon and Dylan looking to go side-by-side action right down through the tunnel. Who's going to be later on the brakes? As you can see, they're going very, very late. Dylan managing just to eke by. Brandon having to get quite happy behind him. Misses out the chicane, so Brandon loses out through the chicane and has a severe waiting time now. He's going to have a warning and a penalty as these drivers have to really deal with the action here. So Dylan managing to get by. Jake still feeling the pressure from Gav as they make their way around the circuit. These two have duked it out once before, and yet again they are at each other's throat, pushing it right up around the circuit. Gav in the tow, trying to utilize the slipstream now to get pulled along, and we'll have to see how that's going to work as they power their way around the circuit. Very, very close racing from every single one of these drivers. And the guys are really having to work incredibly hard. Dylan trying to keep the guys at bay and really working hard to do so. Dylan going out wide though, losing a bit of time. So definitely hard work from every single one of these drivers. And absolutely incredible. And joining in the commentary box I see is Tyler Scott. Tyler, thank you very much for joining us here. And what do you think of the amazing action happening right here at in our Alpha tier? Yes, Brandon, we're a little bit behind the time, unfortunately, but managed to get the Discord screen sort of up. Dylan still feeling a major pressure, so we did have a little bit of a time lapse between myself and the actual stream going out. So apologies there, but you can see Dylan putting some major pressure. He's trying to work his way through. He's got Sol right behind him. That's Ash who's keeping the pressure on. So Ash, who's literally right next to Dylan, trying to get one up. And this is for the championship. So let's see if Ash will be able to do anything. Goes to the middle of the circuit, trying to hold his ground. And then we've got Sly Pete at the back, also trying to maintain his pace at this point. He wants to try and make up a bit of moves as well. And he's got Adrian right behind him. So definitely some hard work going from his side and having to fight his way through. Not going to be an easy run for him, but he is starting to get the drive on JohannVdV. So let's see if he'll be able to catch up to Johan. So it's going to be hard work for him as he has to try and muscle his way around the circuit. So this is going to be very tricky for them. Hard on the brakes. And you can see Dylan going a little bit wide. Ash tries to dive up the inside. Unable to do so. Dylan going very defensive, trying to hold Ash at bay. And you can just see how close they are. Ash once again looks up the inside, unfortunately unable just to get it, but he's trying to get a better exit. So he's in the toe now, through the tunnel, hard on the accelerator. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Dylan trying to snap the toe of Ash. Ash a little bit behind, goes late on the brakes. Is that going to compromise him? Does go over the sausage curbing quite a bit there, and will have to really battle his way around. Still managing to hold the toe though, but right behind them is JohannVdV, who is slowly creeping up. So Johann's really trying to make a bit of headroom here. Sly Pete also keeping the pressure up. So Sly Pete looking to try and move up through the field. And you can see how close he is, putting the pressure on and really muscle his way through. But Sly Pete's actually got the pressure going from Adrian behind him. So Sly Pete now has to try and maintain his pace to catch up, and he's got to deal with Adrian right behind him. So this is going to turn into a massive battle, side-by-side action. JohannVdV looking to, Sly Pete looking to try go side-by-side, managing to just eke ahead before turn 1. So definitely hard work going on there. But Adrian Bond really showing what he can do, and trying to power his way around the circuit. Little bit of time lost between himself and old Pete there. Pete still managing to keep the pace up. Dylan has managed to break the toe of Ash and is looking to try and power his way through now. All he's got to do is try to keep it all together, and that's the difficulty of it right now, is just keeping it all together. Very, very slow through the hairpin. Ash as well trying to go very, very tight on the line, and that may or may not break him as well. Absolutely incredible racing from every single one of these drivers as they try take that one step further right through the field. So definitely hard work being done. With only 13 minutes left of the race, it is going to be a challenge right the way through. You can see Dylan getting very close to the wall. He's trying to rotate the rear of the car to just point and squirt in the right direction, with Ash losing a lot of time. So Ash has fallen back quite a bit, and I wonder if something has gone wrong with him. Jakes, though, looking to keep on going. So Jakes is really stomping his way through and making this a first-to-first situation at this point. But I see we've got one car that was in the pits, and that was Brandon. So Brandon was in the pits, managing to get way through. Tyler, if you can hear me, bud, what is your thoughts on the race so far? Absolutely incredible, and Jake's really putting out a dominating lead there, while you've got Dylan and Ash that are duking it up behind each other. And not something you want to do on the circuit here. You want to try and get some open air. What do you think, Tyler? See, Tyler Scott is a little bit preoccupied. He is our director at the moment. Pete trying to really keep up the pace here, but unfortunately he has got Hills right behind him, who is not hanging back at all, looking inside and outside. And man, this is going to be absolutely incredible. Jan Duplessis, great lead by Jakes, that is for certain, but some great racing going on here. Hills losing a little bit of time, a little bit of contact between Hills and Adrian. So now is going to give Pete a bit of a chance to start running away now as they make their way through the tunnel. And you could just see how hard these two are pushing each other. And Pete is absolutely soaking up the challenge now. He wants to try and get as far into the front as possible. Dylan still managing to go by. Pete does go wide, loses a bit of time. Side-by-side action between the two. Pete losing out of position. And oh my heavens, Hills just managing to sneak by. So Pete losing that position and now is getting chased down by Adrian Bond. So Adrian is now looking to put the pressure on. And this is turning into a massive, massive battle between them. And they are racing for 5th, 6th, and 7th at the moment. So definitely some hard work going on. You can see Pete really trying to keep Adrian at bay, going that tighter line. And now just trying to keep the pace up, trying to get back in the toe of Hills. But Hills is not slowing down. Hills catches the curb, the Onco loses a bit of time. There's going to be a little bit of damage on that car. It does go quite wide, and it's going to be absolutely a mission to go down to the lead with this. It's going to be down to the wire between them with 10 minutes left of the race, and it's anyone's guess, but Jake's pulling a massive lead of 2.5 seconds way up top. Dylan trying to catch his teammate who's lying in third, so he's in third place at the moment. But this battle that we're keeping an eye on is literally sixth, seventh, eighth at the moment. Sly Pete really putting on the pressure now, trying to keep Adrian Bond at bay, but Adrian is pushing. He gets onto the back of Hills. Now he has to try and keep in that toe. Might not break him just on the exit of the tunnel. So really battling his way through. And you can see, does take a look, but unfortunately too far to make a move. So Sly Pete has to get content with where he is and battle his way around. Does try and get a better drive though out of the corner. Gets very close to Hills. And now Brandon having to really tighten up the belt here to try and run away. Absolutely incredible, ladies and gentlemen, between all three of these amazing drivers. And I want to see you guys in the chat, whether it's Facebook or YouTube. What do you guys think? Who is going to get it between them as they muscle their way around the circuit? And with under 10 minutes remaining of the race for heat number 1, it is anyone's guess at this point. Ash still trying to keep ahead. Gav in the pits sustained a bit of damage there, and they're doing a bit of work on it. So unfortunately, Gav knocked out of the running, and that is going to make a massive change up. Dylan goes into second place and Ash into third. Now this is for the championship, so Ash just needs to get ahead of Dylan for heat number 1 and heat number 2, and he can help sort out the championship there and then. Dylan trying to really keep it clean, and if you guys could actually see the screen, you could see Dylan going arm over arm trying to keep that Porsche in check, and it's turning into a huge amount of work. Taryn going and saying Sly Pete, all votes on Sly Pete there, so Taryn going and saying Sly Pete is going to be the battle between those three. It is going to be challenging. Hills is putting pressure on. Dylan does go a little bit over the curving though. Ash gets a run up on him. So Ash looking to go side by side. Ash just getting ahead. Goes on the brakes. Dylan has to be content with a major chain up for second place and for the championship at this point. Between the two of them, Ash really battling his way around the circuit, trying to keep it all together. Dylan does get very close, rubs the on-code a little bit, and now having to battle his way through. Gets close to Ash, so Ash goes defensive, trying to hold him at bay. Very close racing between these guys. This is second place's battle. Now I want to see you guys between second place. Who's going to get it, Ash or Dylan? So guys, in YouTube and on Facebook, I want to see you guys. Who do you think is going to get this massive battle between them as they power their way around the circuit? Ash and Dylan side by side action once again. Ash trying to hold a tight line, trying to keep ahead, managing just to keep ahead. Dylan tries the inside line, not much space there, has to back out of it, and you can see how hard he's really chomping at the bit to go after Ash, as there's about 6 minutes left of the race. You can see how hard Dylan's locking those brakes, trying to get past Ash. Ash going very defensive. Ash goes wide though, loses out a bit of time. Dylan tries to capitalize, unfortunately unable to do so. Ash managing to hold that second place. Dylan trying to get a better drive going into the tunnel now. This is where it's going to benefit him. He gets into the toe in the entrance of the tunnel, now trying to power his way through. He has to just keep that toe, keep it wide, don't touch the brakes, and really just keep it all together. Will he be able to outbrake him? Oh, Ash goes late on the brakes, loses that time, nudges Dylan slightly. Dylan managing to get in second place. Ash having to lose out, but still looking to go side by side action between the two. So Ash trying to push, unfortunately has to back out. Dylan taking that second place so far away from Ash. Ash is not going to take that, and absolutely incredible. So let's see what Dylan will be able to do now, as he has to start opening up that gap over Ash, as he knows that Ash is going to try and battle his way through. Ash must be kicking himself at this present point. So definitely some hard work between them, and not easy work between them at all. So definitely something to keep an eye out for as they battle their way around for second place. The battle still going on between Sly Pete. He's managing to try and keep ahead of Brandon Hills, swapping positions every so often. So you could see Pete really keeping the pressure on. Adrian Bond trying to power his way through now. And Adrian is just on a charge. He's lying in 5th place now and wants to keep going. Rest assured, but Adrian was in Alpha, was in Bravo tier, so he is feeling a little bit worn out at this present moment, but is giving it everything he's got. Gav out the pits. But has got some work. But it looks like Hill's in the pits, so Brandon Hill sustaining some damage and deciding to pull in the pits. Skolt with a Porsche that's looking a little bit second hand, and he's having to try and keep at bay. So very much some hard work between them, but unfortunately that is turning into Brandon right behind, pushing as hard as he can. So Roll Brando not hanging around. Vaughan Hills, not Brandon Hills. Vaughan looking to try and get out of those pits, but Brandon keeping the pressure on. Dylan trying to keep ahead of Ash. So this is back to our second place battle, and you can see how hard they are working to keep it in check. Dylan going a little bit wide, losing slight bit of time. Ash trying to capitalize on it. Ash seems to have got a bit more pace down at the bottom versus Dylan. But Dylan has definitely got the power and has got the top end of the circuit knuckled down before they get to the tight hairpin on the circuit. So definitely some hard work going on between these two. JohannVdV saying, well done, Dylan. Wow, some good racing. This is massive between the two. This is for the championship, ladies and gentlemen. These are the races we love to see. The Alpha tier putting in Dylan getting very, very sideways, losing out some time. Ashley losing out some major time as well. So Ash losing out some massive time at the moment. Dylan locking up the brakes, trying to keep it all together. And I wonder if the pressure is starting to come through. So Ash is starting to show some wear and tear on him. And Dylan trying to keep cool, calm, and collected. Here comes Jakes, though, who's absolutely on a charge. Going from podium, starting in first to the podium for heat number 1. He just has to keep it all together, but is definitely showing Mamba Fever is here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for the final round right here at SARCO. Jake's getting it sideways, though, really flicking the car out. Not what you want to do, Jakes, as he has to try and power his way through. You can see how hard he's really trying to keep that car in check. Now starting to catch up to a back marker, so this is where it plays into effect here. Is he going to impact his race just a little bit? Dylan and Ash still duking it out, so it is the green Mamba duking it out with Ash. And remember, they're sitting at SARCO HQ currently, and they are with one another. Literally, if I can say, they are within arm's reach of everyone. Verona's saying, great racing, gentlemen. That is incredibly true. Ash looking to try, go side by side with Dylan. Looks up the inside, has to back out of it though, going into turn 1. Doesn't want to lose the drive, going up the hill. Dylan trying to keep up the pace here. Very, very close racing between them. Will Ash be able to utilize the drive? And this is where it's going to be Adrian Bond still pushing as hard as he can further down the field. But we are still keeping an eye on second place here. And you can see Ash starting to get a bit of a drive. Gets a bit of a wobble though. So Ash losing out a bit of time. Dylan having to try and go as defensive as possible. And try and power his way through. So taking a look. Gav has a penalty against him. Brandon has a penalty. And so does Hills have a penalty. So definitely that's not going to help them. So currently first is Jakes, followed by Dylan. Then we have got Ash. Then we got JohannVdV and Sly Pete in 5th. It looks like Adrian Bond has unfortunately retired. And definitely not a big hand there. But Dylan still trying to hold back Ash at bay. really trying to do everything he can. You can see Ash really looking left and right, wanting to go. And wow, it's absolutely flat out. And definitely Verona saying our community misses the likes of Marius, Mr. Flat Out, Bruno and his sexy parrot, and the ever so mysterious Turbo Shaw. I've actually been very fortunate to meet Bruno and was chatting to him over the weekend. He says that he does want to come back to SARCO to have a bit of fun with the guys. And so maybe next year he's going to be joining. Who knows? Keep an eye out. It may happen. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Marius both will say, I'll be back. Get it right. I'll be back. It seems to be the proper one. Ashley really keeping the pressure on. Dylan tried to do everything he can. Dylan actually looked off to the side, had a giggle at Ash, and now lost that little bit of concentration. Ash still keeping up the pressure between them, and this is what we want to see, ladies and gentlemen. Dylan going a little bit wide though, losing out a bit of time. You can see Ash immediately on the charge, trying to get a bit more drive through the hairpin. Unfortunately, he has to slow down quite a bit before he gets into the back of Dylan, and now trying to power his way through. Very, very close racing between them. And Henrik Lowe looking good there, Johan. So definitely that is true. JohannVdV going and lying in 4th place at the moment. And if Dylan and Ash get it wrong, he is in the arm's distance to keep going. And stop buying paper for rolling with and get your PlayStation fixed. That is very, very true. Oh, brilliant. Love to see the love in our chat. This is all from our SARCO fan base. We love to have you guys here. Jake's taking the win, but 2nd place is still up for grabs. Who is it going to be, Dylan or Ash? With only a couple of corners left, Ash knows the pressure's on. Dylan is throwing the pressure's on. Their hands are tight against the wheels. Dylan going defensive. Ash trying to get the drive out. It is literally in the toe, but it looks like Dylan might have the drive over Ash. Dylan taking 2nd place away from Ash, lying in 3rd place. If we go back, JohannVdV in 4th place. A slight heat, lying in 5th. 6th place is going to go to Gav, followed by Brandon, and then Vaughan Hills in 8th place. Absolutely incredible racing between them, and definitely one to keep an eye out for. My heavens, can it be? Now it's going to be interesting to see what the guys are going to do come race number 2. The final time the lights are going to go green, ladies and gentlemen. The final time. Now, I know Dylan is going to be keeping an eye out to see where they go. Tyler, talk to me, bud. What did you think of that? A little bit of chatter going on from Dylan and Ash as they trying to just work out what they are going to, and very close battles. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen, for the final time. For the final time. I am blown away. This is the final time our Alpha tier will be going around the circuit. Right here, the Porsche Euro Cup, proudly sponsored by Autowash, Fourways Garden Shopping Centre, and Simstuff Racing, all brought to you by SARCO. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are soon going to be going green for the final time for 2020. I cannot wait. Brandon Santos, what a fight between Ashley and Dylan, non-stop for the whole race, and it's not over. Now remember, Ash is starting in front of Dylan. Jakes is starting way towards the back. Remember, we have taken the top 6 and swapped them completely around. This is the change-up. This is going to change the championship as well. So let's see how it's all going to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in chat, Facebook, and with YouTube, show the love, pick your drivers, pick your cars for the final time this year. Right here, part of the Porsche Euro Cup. Show the love. I want to see the strong arms, the hearts. I want to see it all. Who is going to stand on top for the final time, the final race? This is it. This is SARCO 2020.
Like it 22 minutes or something like that. I think in increments of 5.
Yeah, and Duplessis, well done, Dylan. Great racing. Let's see if he'll be able to do it. Brandon the Santos going and talking about it. Marius Botha saying he will be back in racing. But Marius, who do you think's going to get this? But you know Jakes has climbed up, and now Jakes is starting in 6th position. He's starting all the way at the back. He has to climb past not only his teammates, but racers that are going to give it their all right until the last. Come on, guys. I want to see it there in the chat. YouTube, Facebook, come on. Let's see what you guys think of it. Let's show the love. Let's get this ready. Who is amped for the final time? We got to go green. Right here on Azure circuit, also known as Monaco. This is going to be interesting. Oh, the excitement. My hands are shaking right now. I'm moving around. Just the excitement coming in. Dylan has got his hand on his face. He's trying to get focused right now. He knows that this is it. He knows this is the final time he can do it. This can make or break the entire championship for him. And all he has to do is try to keep it together. All he has to do. He has to try and keep it together. Is this going to be easy for him? No. Is Ash going to make this easy? No. Will any of these drivers in the Alpha tier make it easy? Will Adrian Bond be able to make this easy? No. As we line up, they will go out on their formation lap. They will swap the top 6 right round. Who is it going to be, ladies and gentlemen? Come on. I want to see you guys in there. Everyone in the chat. Everyone for YouTube, everyone on Facebook, I want to see the love for the final time for SARCO right now. Come on, guys. Show the love to all these drivers. They're putting on a show for us tonight. Excitement, I can tell you, is something amazing. This is going to be one exciting race as they line up for the final time here at Monaco. Emotions at an all-time high, ladies and gentlemen. Because this is it. This is it. The end of 2020's racing right here at SARCO. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, while we have a little bit of time where it's calmed down, I want to thank every single one of you for going and spending time with us this entire year and checking the amazing races, being part of the memories despite one of the hardest years that I can remember. It has not been easy. It has been trying, but sim racing has been thriving, and you guys, the fans, the drivers, the families, the teams have made this all possible to come together. You guys have created the memories with these drivers as they make their way around for the final time. Emotions are high. This is it. This is the excitement. I see the 12 of you watching on Facebook. I see the couple of you watching on... Sorry, the 12 of you on YouTube. The couple on Facebook. I can see you guys. I want to feel the love coming through for every single one of these drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, before we go green, give them a love. Put the arms in the air. Thumbs up. Strong arms. Hearts. Flames. I want to see it all for the final time. Right here. This is going to be absolutely incredible. Brandon DeSantos, who do you think is going to get this, bud? Ashley and Dylan, come on. You got to give us some thoughts here. You had a little bit of a rough run, but I want to see what you think. Come on, I want you to just chuck it in here. We know what Bothman's going for. He's going for Jakes right now. He's going for Jakes. Veranis, you also watching this, bud. I want to see what you want to go. Henrik Lowe saying go Adrian Bond, looking to put in the effort here. There's Vaughan Hills. There's Adrian Bond as everyone is lined up. Skoltz is rounding out. This is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Gav leading out. Sly Pete, JohannVdV. Oh man, ladies and gentlemen, this is it, boys and girls. They got 3 more corners. This is it. Gooi millies, boys. Exactly what I want to see. This is what it is. With the corners, we're going green. Literally 5. And I catch my fan. I get the Naughty Bad award just now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As it's all on first place. Lights on. Lights off and away they go. Sly Peters on the charge. Gav's leading out. And you can see immediately JohannVdV on the charge trying to push his way through. Ash also trying to get away. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The final time. The Alpha tier. In that last race, Ash tried to get round, but JohannVdV is going defensive. He's taking a place. JohannVdV pushing his way through. And he is really on an impact charge here. Ash managing to keep his way. Oh, Johan touching a wall. Ash going on the inside. Dylan trying to keep in the toe as well. So Ash managing to get by. Dylan just sneaky by. JohannVdV trying to do a little bit of a fight back. Unfortunately, unable to do so. Gav getting a great drive. Oh, Johan going up, breaking himself. Johan losing time. Sly Pete trying to get around him now. This is turning into a massive battle between them. There's Ash and there's Dylan looking to duke it out one more time as they power their way through. JohannVdV losing a little bit of time there as he's got Sly Pete right behind him, who's not giving him any time to breathe. This is going to turn into a battle. Jake's trying to climb his way through as well, so Jake's is really working hard here. Sly Pete gets a bit of pressure put on him, and JohannVdV also trying to just get away, but Sly Pete having to deal with Brandon. And this is turning into a massive battle between them. Sly Pete getting very close. Sutton goes and kisses that wall. And you can see trying to keep Brandon at bay. Not the easiest thing to do right now. Jake's immediately behind him. So Jake's is pushing. He wants to get around everyone. He wants to get going. He wants to get into lead. He's losing time behind them. And you can see Sly Pete getting a little bit squirrely on the brakes. Brandon trying to go on the inside of him. Not close enough to do so. Definitely some hard work going in here. Jake's trying to get into the drive, trying to pull himself along in the toe. Will he be able to do anything? This is absolutely incredible racing from them. Sly Pete having to try go a little bit lighter on the brakes, gets close, losing out a bit of time. Brandon looking to go side by side with him once again. Side by side action between the two. Brandon just getting ahead, but take a look, Dylan and Ash duking out. Dylan managing to get ahead. He's really working hard on that steering to try and keep Ash at bay. Gav is in front, so we've got to give it up. Gav started, climbed away, and now has to deal with the two right behind him. Now, what he's hoping is Ash and Dylan are going to duke it out and keep each other busy so he can run away. But if those two behave, they'll get around Gav at this point. Very, very close racing right down the grid as the guys push right into the line. 14 minutes left of the race. You can see Jake's trying to make his way through. He's currently in 7th place. He needs to get around Sly Pete as fast as he can. Gets into the toe. Really steps out the rear. Looks to go side by side. Trying to go on the inside of him. Late on the brakes. Managing just to get by. A bit of a nudge. JohannVdV loses it. Sly Pete loses it. Brandon also just getting unsteady there. Absolute chaos at the back here. So the pressure is on Jakes to try and battle his way through. JohannVdV losing out a bit of time, but managing to keep on going. So JohannVdV is pushing. Simstuff Racing is not hanging back now. They want to keep on going, and JohannVdV is on the charge. He wants his own prize at this point, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure these boys keep honest and battle their way through. Dylan managing to break away from Ash. He's now going onto the back of Gav. So now Gav has to keep on going. Ash, unfortunately, making a big mess. Oh, Gav touching the wall, losing out a lot of time. Dylan managing to sneak by and gets it. So Dylan, for the first time, has taken first place. And now his goal is to keep ahead. Jake's really doing everything he can. You can see quite a daunting sight behind him as he's got JohannVdV chasing him down. And he's also got Brandon. Oh, big chaos at the back. Brandon followed by Vaughan Hills. JohannVdV losing down to both of them. And it's also allowed Slight Pete to climb up through. Adrian, Bond, Skoltz, all managing to get through. So JohannVdV touching that wall. We said that if you make one mistake, this track will punish you, and right there and then we just saw it. So Gav now has got the pressure to try get back up to Dylan. Ash trying to get back in the fight with Dylan, as that's a championship right there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is a championship between them. Brandon trying to run away. Now he's got Vaughan Hills behind him. Hills is not going to keep it back. Sly Pete having to deal with JohannVdV. Oh, bit of chaos though. And that looks to be Vaughan Hills that nailed the wall. So Vaughan losing time. And once again, straight into the wall, really battling with that car. There might be a bit of suspension damage on it by the looks of it, as it keeps pulling into the wall. Sly Pete managing to walk away with this at this point. Adrian Bond keeping the pressure on the back of him though. And that is not going to help. Skoltz lying in 8th place is also immediately right onto the back. JohannVdV trying to outbrake himself there. Just managing to get by. But very, very close racing between every single one of them. Slight Pete really having to try and keep it all together. Dylan and Gav duking it out. Gav managing to get a bit of a drive on Dylan. And now Dylan has to try and keep it clean. He doesn't want to get mixed up in a battle. Gav tries to go late on the brakes. Unfortunately, unable to do so. Hills is in the pit. So Hills has sustained some damage from the mishaps. Unfortunate. But that has just opened it up for the back end. You can see Gav really going late on the brakes. Trying to dive up on the inside. So close. Dylan losing a lot of time. Gav immediately trying to capitalize on this, and right behind them with the Jaws theme song, that is Ash. So now it's turning into a 3-horse race at the front for first, second, and third. Dylan trying to break the toe of Gav and losing a little bit of time, has to really try and work hard there. Gav goes a very, very tight line, goes actually over the curbing. He has got a better drive, so he's trying to keep in the toe, but has to keep it all together. So he's really just got to do everything he can. Dylan gets a bit out of shape though, floating around. You can see immediately Gav on the back of him, trying to push Dylan that little bit more, hoping to force a mistake out of him at this point. Ash losing time, deciding to back out of it, just let the battle happen, and he will hopefully be able to make his way through. Under 10 minutes left of the race to go. And you can see how hard every single one of these drivers are pushing. This is the final race for the Alpha Tier, for the year, for the season. And they really want to make an impact here. And they're doing so. Adrian Bond really performing now, as he's got Skoltz. Skoltz getting very close to the wall. But Adrian Bond, absolutely glad to see him. Enjoying the wheel, really maximizing the effort. But you got to remember, he's done 2 of the Bravo tier races, and now is in the Alpha tier, pushing as hard as he can. Dylan managing to walk a little bit away from Gav, so Gav losing some time, and that's allowed Ash to get that little bit closer. So Gav losing that time has allowed Ash to get in. But take a look who's lying in 4th place. That is Jakes, the second of the Green Mambas, is looking to try and power his way through. So this is going to be interesting. Will Jakes be able to climb his way back up to the top? He's got his teammate in front of him in first, but he has to try and get past his teammate. Now remember, there's no team orders here, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely nothing. So it's all about racing until the end. Yes, we have the same color scheme, But will Mamba Fever be given back to the Mamba? We'll find out as they power their way through. Very, very close racing right the way through. Dylan losing a lot of time. Gav has got the bottom section pretty much sorted, and Dylan losing out some massive time is a little bit slow. You can see Gav immediately onto the back of him, trying to go that little bit wider. And wow, absolutely amazing racing going on. You can see Gav has got the drive, keeping the toe on. Jake's getting onto the back of Ash now. So that's turning into a bit of a battle for third place. Gav keeping the pressure on, gets into the toe, loses a bit of time as he gets a little bit squirrely out of turn 1, but trying to maintain that toe behind Dylan. Jake's also doing the same, trying to keep up with Ash at this point. Dylan is losing a bit of time, going a bit sideways. He's struggling with that back end of the Porsche. He's starting to feel the pressure now. He's watching those mirrors. Oh, Gav properly losing the tail end, able to catch it, but loses a massive load of time to Dylan. And now they're also starting to catch up to Vaughan Hills, but JohannVdV is in the pits as well. So JohannVdV, unfortunately, in the pits due to some damage. And that's going to change it up a bit further down through the field, even for the championship. Dylan now feeling the pressure, got Gav right behind him. Gav has got the better drive out of the corners, and now trying to power his way through. Dylan having to go very, very defensive to try and hold the line, hard on the brakes. You could just see how difficult it is, ladies and gentlemen, between them. Gav trying to keep the pressure on. Jake's also looking to try and get past Ash as much as possible. And I mean, this is for the championship, ladies and gentlemen, between every single one of them. And they're looking to make an impact here. Gav is just hanging on for dear life between it. Absolutely fantastic on his part. You can see Ash trying everything he can. He's really throwing the car around to keep Jake's at bay. Gav trying everything he can to get as much momentum to Dylan. Dylan has to just keep it clean at this point with only 6 minutes and 20 seconds left of the race. It is anyone's game, so they might have to really try and push their way to the top. And this is where it gets a bit challenging between them. You can see how hard he's having to push Dylan, trying to keep Gav at bay. Gav hasn't broken out of a second behind him. They've been really doing everything they can. And wow, absolutely incredible. Dylan does go into the wall though, and that is a loss of time and a loss of drive. Oh, Gav does exactly the same, going and hitting that Onco barrier. And Dylan losing that little bit of concentration. So does Gav at this point. They're really pushing these cars. It is starting to fishtail slightly on them. Gav trying to go on the inside. Does give it a little bit of a kiss to the back of Dylan. Jake's still battling his way through. Sly Pete now pushing as hard as he can. He's immediately has Adrian Bond right behind him. So Adrian is really pushing as hard as he can. Oh, a little bit of a nudge between them. And you can see Bond really having to try and keep it all together right behind Sly Pete with 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 9 seconds to go. You can see Dylan really doing everything he can to keep it all together. Gav right on his case. And my heavens. There we go. Ash caught right onto the back of Gav. Now has to try and push his way around. You can see how much they're sliding these cars. So far, quickest time 1:46 was done by Dylan. And Ash managing to go on the outside. Going to be hard on the brakes. Gives, unfortunately, a bit of a nudge to Gav. Gav goes into the wall. Jakes capitalizes on the moment. Gets side by side with Ash. It is turning into a little bit of a bumper car match between them. And you can see Dylan going very defensive, puts his car in the middle of the circuit, trying to hold back Ash and Jakes at this point. Mamba Fever coming in. Ash looking to go on the outside. Ash trying to outbrake him. Oh, very, very close. Jakes dives up on the inside. Gav now looking to capitalize. This is a 4-horse race for first place, ladies and gentlemen. This is literally 4 cars battling for first. And you can see how hard every single one of them are doing it. Jakes gets a penalty though. That's not going to help him. Gav gets a little bit of a nudge on Ash. Ash losing his little bit. So does Gav. Oh, bit into the wall between the two of them. That's allowed Jakes to catch up. But Jakes has got the penalty. Oh, and Dylan is in the wall. Dylan is in the wall. Jakes managing to get by. Gav in second place, Ash in third, Dylan put it into the wall. My heavens, ladies and gentlemen. Now what Jakes needs to do, he's got a second penalty. If he maintains his pace, he will be able to hold that first place. But the pressure's on because Gav has tasted that first place. He's not going to let go of it anytime soon. Ash is really putting the pressure on now. He really wants to try and fight his way through. And you can see how hard they're pushing each other. Dylan trying to keep that car all together, taking a bit of damage. And Jake's just doing everything he can. He's fought hard to get where he is now. And now has to try and climb up through the ranks. He's still got that penalty of a second. So he's just got to hang it all together for 2 minutes and 51 seconds. Which doesn't sound like a long time. But when you're begging for that checkered flag to come out, it is a whole eternity. I'm sure Tyler can attest to that one for sure. And now they're starting to catch up to a back marker as well. So let's see. Jakes is now catching on to the back of Vaughan Hills. So Hills having to realize that he's not in the race here. Dylan dives up on the inside trying to make his way around. And you can see how hard they're pushing each other here. So Dylan trying to just make his way around. But you could see the damage on both the Porsches there. And Dylan really working hard. Gav in second place has got Ash immediately on the back of him. Sorry, Dylan's in fifth. Brandon managing to get ahead of him. So Dylan has fallen way down the group now. And now Ash just needs to get ahead of Dylan. Oh, Dylan and Jake's managing just to get by. Oh, a little bit of close call between. It looks a bit of contact between Ash and Gav. So Ash going and braking very, very hard, trying to keep it all together as they power their way around the circuit. Very, very close racing between them. Jake's 2 seconds ahead, so he will maintain that first position at this rate, but he's got to keep on going. Dylan falling down the ranks. He's now in 6th position, so Dylan is in 6th. This is not going to help his championship at all. And this is not going to be a happy camper. Dylan has now got Adrian Bond, who was busy chirping earlier. Now Adrian Bond's like, hello, buddy. This race, and is now looking to square up against Dylan. So absolutely incredible racing now going on. Dylan is literally on a recovery drive at this point, trying to sort himself out. JohannVdV really pushing. He's in 8th place. He's going after Adrian Bond. But quite a bit behind. But you can see Dylan really flicking that Porsche around, trying to keep it all together. And Adrian Bond, who's driven both Bravo tier races, lost Alpha tier race, and is now racing this one. This is incredible racing between every single one of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to see the hearts. I want to see the flames coming in for the final time. As it looks like our leader is on the last lap. So he's got to just power his way through. He's got to just keep it clean. He's ahead of Gav. Gav trying to keep ahead of Ash at this point as they battle their way around. Ash is in the money here if he can keep it going. He's got the points advantage for the race. Unfortunately, Dylan is really losing out. Brandon going and having a great time. He's got Sly Pete right behind him. Dylan trying to keep Adrian Bond at bay, trying to keep his hopes alive. And this is turning into a bit of a rough ride for him at this point. Wow, this is going to be incredible race to the end. Come on, guys. I want to see all the love in the chat. Show your love. Show the respect. Show everyone. Show these drivers exactly the fan base, the SARCO fans. I know you guys are in Bravo tier that are watching this. I want to see you guys show the respect to our Alpha tier. Put those flames up. Jakes is really powering his way through. But ladies and gentlemen, started in first, ended in first, started in 6th, and is ending in first. Ladies and gentlemen, Green Mamba Fever. It is Jakes across the line. Right behind him is Gav in 2nd place. Ash taking 3rd place. Right behind him is Brando, who's just had a ton of fun keeping ahead of Sly Pete. So Sly Pete really pushing his way up to the top there. Sixth place goes to Dylan. Seventh place, Adrian Bon. Then eighth place goes to JohannVdV, followed by Skoltz and Vaughan Hills finishing in 10th place. Bothma, absolutely right. Brilliant, Jakes. That is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm blown away as we keep an eye on JohannVdV of Simstuff Racing. Massive thank you to this man over here. He has been a long supporter of SARCO and has been constantly in the chat. Has earned the respect of every single driver of SARCO. We take our hats off to him. And massive thank you to this man for all the hard work he's done. And is our sponsor for the series of Simstuff Racing. Give it up for JohannVdV coming across the line. Skoltz ending up in 9th place after working really hard with that Porsche. 10th place will go to Vaughan Hills. My heavens, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was your alpha tier of the Porsche Euro Cup. Proudly brought to you by SARCO, Autowash, Fourways Garden Shopping Centre and Simstuff Racing. Ladies and gentlemen, that is SARCO 2020 wrapped up in a nutshell. My heavens. What an incredible race. Dylan, you are currently, I can see you, bud. Dylan, how are you feeling there? You really had Ash for a good little bit. And unfortunately, heat number 2 was not your heat. But what is happening there at SARCO HQ?
Well, I'm trying to catch my breath. That was absolutely incredible. It was so difficult. I was trying to hopefully allow enough time for Jakes to catch up. Made a little bit of a mistake. The car slid. I just touched the inside wall. And with me touching that inside wall, they gave me some suspension damage. So when I went down the hill, hit the brakes, the car just didn't stop and put me in the wall. And that was the end of me trying to chase the guys down.
I mean, this is just absolutely amazing racing from every single one of you guys. And, I mean, the alpha tier, done and dusted. Well, let me put this. Let's put a bit of real world here, ladies and gentlemen. Especially for Dylan. Dylan, that was the end. The final checkered flag for 2020. You've put in some serious work. You and Ash have really put the work in, along with all the drivers, all the fans, teams, and families. How are you feeling right now, knowing that that was the checkered flag for it all?
So, obviously, there's the one side where you get sad that it's done and dusted, but the other side is I'm actually so glad that it's done and dusted. It's been a very long year. Remember, we've squeezed in 5 seasons this year. Normally we would do 4 seasons, so we have had a lot of racing, running 2 leagues. Last season we're running 3 leagues per week, so it has been lots and lots of graft. And without Ashley helping me out and supporting me, there's just no ways I would have been able to keep up. So a big thank you goes out to him. And then also to Ross helping behind the scenes in terms of getting those points updated. But then the big thank you goes to all the drivers, because without the drivers wanting to come and race with us, there is no SARCO. So a big thank you goes to all of them, as well as to our sponsors, the guys that are jumping on board. They want to partner with us. They want to help the community, and with that community and their contributions, what it does is it covers the costs like our servers. It covers the costs like us being able to negotiate prizes. So guys, if you are listening and you are out there, we really do appreciate all of you.
And I've got to jump in. So I'm going to take on first. I've got to give it up. Gav, buddy, pal, amigo. That second race just put all the strain on you. You soaked it up and you had a solid race until the line. But how are you feeling with that?
Yes, man. I just want to say I'm sweating like crazy. But and I'm
I
sure a
didn't
lot of
make it
folks
easy
as
for
well.
you, eh?
But yeah, yes, I had my first race was it was a pity. I just hit the wall, and it's funny because at some places you can touch the wall and your car's fine. Other places, if you touch it, then like it doesn't show much damage, but the wheel alignment is messed. So then obviously I had to go into pits and second race. Yeah, yes, what a race! I wouldn't say it was a clean race for me. I made quite a few many mistakes, but it's not an easy track. So I would say it's probably the most difficult track we've raced. Yeah, but congrats to the winners and yeah, what a race.
All right, and I'm going to leave the best for last, but I'm going to move on. Ash, you at SARCO HQ. It was a race between you and Dylan, and at one point, Dylan and you looked eye to eye in the middle of Monaco circuit. One, are you both absolutely mad for doing that? And two, how are you feeling knowing that Dylan disappeared behind you after a very critical mistake?
Well, obviously we wanted to be a tight race right to the end, and we went to Dylan, can you just mute it there, please? We wanted it to be a very close race, and it was a fantastic first race. I've managed to get past Dylan, and then the very next snap he got past again. So it was much quicker today on this track, and deserved winner. And yeah, what can I say?
Absolutely incredible. And as I said, leaving the best for last. The man that has caused more chaos in SARCO by making sure that he runs away from everyone. That I think needs to be checked if he has a brake pedal still attached to his rig. Because I highly doubt it's there. The only, the man that goes and gives Mamba fever to all of the grid. Jakes, how are you feeling? You have given every single person of SARCO throughout the entire season on Thursdays and on Mondays Mamba fever. How are you feeling, bud?
Oh, well, yes, tonight was a hectic. I'm also sweating. The first race was a little bit easier. The first part of the race, Gavin gave me quite a lot of nice dices. And unfortunately for him, he made a mistake and he went to the wall. And then that race was straightforward for me. I just had to keep it on the road, away from the walls. The second race was quite something. I started off 6, and I think Slight Pete braked in front of me, and I had to brake down, and I swerved over the road, and I ended up 8th, and I had to fight my way through there to get to these guys. And man, yes, these guys are fast. I was struggling to catch them, and when I managed to catch them, it was me and Ash and Gav and Dylan. Yo, man. And I was at one stage, it was Dylan in front and me in second. And I just thought to myself, let's just keep it here, Dylan. You finish in front, me in second. And we have the Mamba podium 1 and 2. And your points will be better than Ash's. And then Dylan will take the win in the championship. So I don't know where it ended now. But yeah, that last part of the race was hectic, man. But awesome fun. And I just want to congratulate the guys for running such a clean race there in front, and no bumping and all that nonsense.
So you came along, Jakes.
No, I never touched anybody. It was Mamba fever that kicked in there, and you all made mistakes. But no, congrats to you guys as well, eh? That was an awesome race.
Now I'm going to go through each of the individual guys. Gav, I'm going to start off with you, bud. Knowing that it's the end of the alphas for 2020, looking back on the season, how are you feeling?
I think I finished off on a high. I had good qualifyings throughout the season, but I never managed to keep my focus. I think halfway through the race was easy to make a mistake, but yeah, I would. I really can't wait for the next one. I enjoyed this one where you don't have to do setups and stuff. It doesn't take so much of your time. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the season.
Absolutely amazing. Now, Dylan, sorry, not Dylan, Ash, but you've been behind the scenes, you've been working hard, you've been keeping the communication going between yourself and Dylan and everyone. How are you feeling knowing that that was the final checkered flag for 2020?
Yes.
Now we can take a break. So well done to Jakes. He had a fantastic drive, and well done to everybody who participated in this championship. It was absolutely amazing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And yeah, I was feeling confident a couple of races ago, and look, it went right down to the wire, and we still don't know who's won the championship yet. And I have a sneaky suspicion that Dylan's managed to edge pass, and I think Jake's is very close after those 2 wins. So Dylan and I are going to go through the points now, and yeah, let's see if we can send out the results a little bit later or first thing tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. Now, Jakes, bud, you've been racing your heart out this season and in all our championships. And now that it's come to a bit of a close, the final checkered flag, and you got to take that final checkered flag for SARCO 2020, how are you feeling? How's the emotion build up for it?
Yeah, it's an amazing feeling. This is actually a bittersweet after this win, and to think that this season came to an end. But what an awesome season it was, and just want to give Dylan and Ash a big heads up there for giving us such a nice championship. Both those championships are awesome. Well, the whole year's championships was awesome, and I'm glad to be part of it, and just to show the young guys that the old bullies can still do it. Yeah, but my goatee is gone now, and I'm missing it, so I'm going to grow it again and make that bet with Memo again. If he beats me, it will go again, but I don't like this look.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. There is our racers of the Alpha tier. Give them a massive round of applause. Jake's taking checkered to checkered for both heats. Well done, guys. Thank you very much for having and being part of the championship. Absolutely brilliant. Dylan, bud, I mean, it is bittersweet right now of it all coming to a close. And emotion does build up into it. It's been quite an exciting year. We've got our final rundown of the year on Thursday. And I've got to say, you guys have been pouring your hearts out. I know you guys want to take a break, but I'm sure the heart is feeling it a little bit there. You know, with COVID being a very difficult time for 2020, SARCO having that rapid growth and having a community that really stood behind. And if it wasn't for our sponsors like Autowash, Simstuff Racing, and Auto Electrical coming on board with us to make it all happen, it's it's massive. There's got to be a bit of a wow factor kicking in and excitement on Thursday for the bit of a rundown.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the rundown. It was something that we started earlier in the year, and it's just to do a little quick recap. We have a chat to the drivers, and it definitely just brings in some of that fun element, and we have a bit of fun. So it's kind of like a prize giving, but we do it all online. I really have fun doing them, and it just gives us some behind the scenes. So guys, yeah, do tune into that. Hopefully we get to see you all. But yeah, really looking forward to just shutting down the computer, not having to worry about too much of the admin behind the scenes. And well, I might be able to get some actual other game time in. But I must say it has been absolutely fantastic. So I have to say a big thank you to yourself, Stephen, because without you jumping into the commentary box and putting your services forward, I would not be able to drive. And it just shows you that a little bit of green mamba fever never hurt anybody.
It's been an absolute honor being part of it, and it's really been amazing. But rest assured, Green Mamba Fever is one thing, but the Koenigs are going to come back fighting, and you ain't going to have it easy next time. Rest assured. No, absolutely brilliant. From my side, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a big shout out to our fans on Facebook and on YouTube. Guys, hit that like on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube page, and hit that bell notification. But massive, massive thank you to all our fans right through the year. Absolutely incredible. To the teams, to the drivers, you guys have been behind. It's been phenomenal to commentate with. It's been some of the best commentating of esports I've been having. It's really been a massive amount of fun. It's been an honor to stand here and be part of the whole show that you guys put on. I don't know about you, but I've got a little bit of emotions rolling. So from my side, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that was SARCO 2020. My name is Stephen Koenig. Have a great Christmas. Have a great New Year. And we will see you next time right here at SARCO.
Cheers, yo's. Oh, Mr. Button, psych.